Okay, thanks. Just a quickly report update from Taiwan chapter, please. Okay, here are some members in our Odyssey Taiwan Society office. We are getting more and more people to join our office. Yeah, thanks for Mui's presentation in our because we invite Mui to give us a special speech. Originally, which that is virtual one, but Mui want to come to Taiwan to give us on-site speaking. So really appreciate her sharing about the Odyssey and about the real world data and the evidence. And we got around 100 people to participate in this special speech. In May, we also invite Matai to give us sharing about what is the trends and the role about the real world data in industry. Okay, so Matai also give us good sharing about the futures of the real world evidence in pharmaceutical company and industry. We also prepared an article which is about the introduction about TMU CRD, and also in this article we also um, shared about how the journey, how we use this database to convert into the OMOP common data model, and how we can have a connection with Odyssey. And this is kind of introduction article which was published in BMJ Health and Care Informatics. And for the future, I think we can let more people to cite this article so that also can help us to promote Odyssey in Taiwan and global. Thanks. Next. And the last week, we just get back from Europe, and we have totally 6 people participant in Odyssey Europe Symposium in Netherlands. And here are some photos we took in the conference. And we also have some because we also participated in pre-conference workshop and also poster section. And I think next month we will also have a sharing about the reaction uh, regarding to the participant in this conference. So I will let more people, some students, to share their reactions in next community call. We also um, because as you may know that TMU has originally had 3 hospitals, and we extend our service to the other hospitals. Xinguomin Hospital is the fourth hospital we have completed the other common data model converting. So that would be the new hospital which has the almost common data model format data from Taiwan. And we also support the Vietnam chapter, and we focus on 2 hospitals in Vietnam, and we have already prepared the contract between TMU College of Management and the 2 hospitals, and we are going to get into the support about the technical part in the near future. So this is about um, the first health data science symposium in Taiwan. It's also based on the Odyssey Taiwan Society. So in that, the date will be on October 6th, and we also invited Park from Korea and Mornin from Singapore to give us sharing about the Odyssey parts. Because this is the domestic in activity in Taiwan, so the majority of participants audience are Taiwanese. So we not In fact, a lot of people from global, only two, and to represent others to give a short sharing. That's it. And then here, this is our website. Welcome to visit our websites if you are interested. Thanks. That's it.
Hi, I'm Chan from Korea, and congratulations, Jason, that for what you've achieved in Taiwan. So in Korea, in this year we are focusing on vocabulary. So we are trying to integrate our Korean local vocabulary EDI into AMOP vocabulary. Even though we actually integrated this vocabulary in 2019, but after that there are very many vocabularies updated in Korea, and we are trying to integrate this vocabulary into AMOP vocabulary and on a continuous basis. And to integrate into AMOP vocabulary, the local vocabulary should be mapped to the standard vocabulary of AMOP. So we map most of them into standard vocabulary. And we developed a Seng package to handle this longitudinal local vocabulary. So this is kind of we developed semi-automated process to support the integration of local vocabulary into AMA vocabulary. And then, because the vocabulary team of Odyssey recently developed another, community contribution process. So to be compliant with this community contribution process, we mapped our vocabulary into standard vocabulary, and we added some codes, and we conduct the process of community contribution process. Like there are 5 processes in this process, so we completed this. Another theme of we are focusing on is medical device. So until now, as you know, that mostly they usually heavily focus on medical medications rather than device or procedures, because medical device, the vocabulary of medical device are not actually standardized across the world. So in this project, we are trying to convert the 17 hospitals CDM to include a device exposure table, and in our hospital we specifically focus on the feasibility test for using UDI, the unique device identifier. The unique device identifier is a system of labeling and identifying medical devices within the supply chain from manufacturing. So in the current device exposure table of AMOP, there is unique device ID column and production ID column, which can capture these UDIs identifiers. So I think this is the first case that actually implement this UDIs within the device exposure table of AMOP, and we are trying to see how it is useful. So like this, if when you use SOMACT as a medical device vocabulary, then we can lose the granularity of vocabulary, because we cannot distinguish the Edward Sapien 3 aortic valve compared with the core valve evolute system. In Korean local vocabulary EDI, we can distinguish these two, Edwards versus core valve, but still we cannot distinguish. We cannot identify the very granular information, such as like each model or each the models with specific French or size. So if we use UDI, we can capture these very granular informations from the medical device, which we usually do in our in the medication by using ARCS norm. There are very granular information in the ARCS norm compared with the ATC code system. So that's why we are trying to use the UDI. We are trying to capture the UDIs from the for the medical device, and to see the feasibility of this. So currently, we are trying to capture the UDIs information from this hospital. And last thing is the medical imaging. So the first paper from the medical imaging work group was published in this year in the Journal of Imaging Informatics in Medicine, together with Hopkins. So we proposed that 2 new tables for medical images. And our goal within this imaging working group is to perform the core definition in Odyssey in Atlas for medical imaging studies. And the second goal is bringing features derived from the medical images into data model while maintaining provenance. Fundamentally, we try to enable federated learning of imaging models through Odyssey network studies. So in Korea, we trying to develop controlled vocabulary for DICOM data dictionary, and for these, we have contract, like we have some kind of contract with a nationwide DICOM assessment institution. I don't know the exact name of that institution, but by that with that contract, we can investigate the nation level variability of DICOM metadata. So this is because the characterization of current data is very key. It's very essential to define the data models to for these metadata of DICOMs. And institutions including Seven Hospital, Seoul National University Hospital, and Brahma Medical Hospitals are collaboratively working with Hopkins to implement medical imaging study now. This is the end of my slide, and please ask any questions.
Okay, so hi everyone. I hope you can hear me. So my name is Keiko, and maybe for those who I am who you don't know. So I have been involved in Odyssey Japan for a while, but I had a little bit of break due to some job related issue. But I came back now, and today I'm going to present Odyssey Japan 2024 first half update. Okay, thank you. Next slide, please. So first, this is not 2024, but in December 2023, a few members of Odyssey Japan, particularly related to RinchuNet, visited Korea to learn Odyssey activities in Korea. So thank you very much, Professor Park and IQVIA Korea as well. As well. So this RinchuNet is a clinical research core hospital consortium in Japan, composed related to like about 14 or 15 hospitals in Japan, and this group has been working on the Odyssey OMOP transformation of their data. So this is a good visit to learn from Korea's residents. So next, please. And then I think, as Seng mentioned, we had a one-day event in Tokyo in April 17th. And this was the combination of special lecture and hands-on session. So special lecture was given by Professor Daniel Prieto Alhambra from Oxford University, speaking about network studies, and lectures, and a couple of other speakers talked about a few updates on OMOP Japan, Odyssey Japan, and there are about 30 participants there. And then after that lecture, the hands-on session was held, and thank you, Seng Yo, and all other people who helped the hands-on session. And the hands-on session were for 15 trainees, mainly for the use of Atlas. Next, please. And there are a few updates and achievements in 2024. So OMOP ETL is in progress, and we are hoping to complete OMOP ETL in a few university hospitals by fall 2024. And in parallel, vocabulary mapping is in progress as well. So we have been quite slow in this ETL movement, but we are steadily making the progress on that. And also, we just finished Japan Association of Medical Informatics Spring Conference in Chiba. And one of the sessions was the future of the national medical database in Japan. And Professor Hiramatsu was a speaker related to OMOP. And the symposium was quite successful, and the organizers and speakers emphasized the importance of common data model. And this is not just one national database, but this is more of various national database to utilize them. It is important to establish the CDM system. Also, Professor Aoyagi presented transformation analysis from EMR to OMOP CDM at the conference. So other than that, we have regular monthly evening conference, and this is more of like educational meeting, as well as more like casual discussion on update from each members. And we just have 50th conference in January. And so this is almost like 4 or 5 years of conference once a month. And recently we had a general agenda of quick review on ODASI-related publications, sharing ODASI Global APAC topics and discussions, and vocabulary exploration, discussion on study-a-thon plan. We are hoping to have a study-a-thon this year. Then the last part is a Fed and Association. This group is established in March 2023 as a kind of group or entity to promote the use of the medical data and contribute to society, especially through federated data from multiple sites and OMOP CDM standardization. So this is also taking more like as a business to push the OMOP CDM model. Next, please. So far it was 2024. So the near future activities. So there are 2 activities planned. One is the next joint conference on medical informatics in 2024. And there is a symposium which was proposed by Professor Hiramatsu on the promotion challenges in federated analysis and federated learning in November 2024. So that has various talk about network studies and network learning. And then lastly, in October 2024, we will have Asian Conference on Pharmacoepidemiology as a joint meeting with Japanese pharmacoepidemiology meeting. So maybe last time it happened in Kyoto a few years ago, maybe some of us met in person. So I just wonder if any of you guys are coming to Tokyo. We are happy to meet you. Okay, so that's all updates and activities.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, it's really exciting to see all the updates. I love these update meetings. Everyone's doing some great work. So I'm Nicole Pratt from Australia. This is the Australia chapter update. Sorry. Here we go. So in terms of some of the activities this year, we've been very, very lucky to have Feng here with us since February, and Feng is from Taipei Medical University, so we've been able to organise a 6-month sort of exchange program through Odyssey, which I think has been fabulous, and we've learned lots and lots and lots from Feng. Here's just a couple of examples of what he's been able to do. Is he's provided some seminars for different groups around Australia. One of them is the Medicines Intelligence Centre of Research Excellence, which is a collaboration of pharmacoepidemiologists across Australia, and Feng really, talked about the importance of Odyssey and what it can do, and the work that he is doing in Taiwan. We also did a presentation at the Office of Chief Medical Information Officer here at in South Australia. So the government of South Australia are embarking on a really large program of work to OMOP all of the hospitals here in South Australia. And the good thing about South Australia is that all of the hospitals use the same electronic health record system. So it's a version of Allscripts, and they're sort of, really embarking on doing that. So that was really great to hear where they're up to in terms of their translation, and Feng gave them a presentation of TMU and their process of translation. So that's been a really great collaboration, and hopefully we get some data out of South Australia soon when they get that going. So that has happened. So thanks again, Feng, for all your hard work. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here. The other thing that we've done is talked to the Australian Institute of Digital Health about interoperability in healthcare data sets. So there's been a lot of kind of activity happening and promoting Odyssey and the work that Odyssey is doing. Some other things that have happened, we've published, or Odyssey Australia has published some studies around, governance in healthcare data and also primary care data that's been OMOP. So these publications were out earlier this year. And then I've just popped this other paper in up the top here from Guy Savant, and you'll notice Christian Reich and Graham Grieve, and it's a really nice paper if you guys haven't already read it, just about open data standards, and it's a really nice read about some of the work we're doing in Odyssey. So read that if you get a chance. The other thing that is happening in Odyssey Australia is that we're starting to really try to get a community of practice group coming together now that we're sort of getting some data sets OMOPed, and people are now starting to want to be able to use those for research, and we're trying to get a community of practice together, to really learn from each other, particularly around Australian specific languages and vocabularies and processes and so on. So that's we're just in the process of organising a workshop at the moment. So that should happen sort of perhaps in August. The other thing that's really exciting is we have now in the Medicines Intelligence CRE, we've now got a data platform for New South Wales data, which has hospital and medication data, and we've just uploaded that into the EMA data catalogue. So again, trying to embark on a process of OMOPing that data set as well. So that's kind of exciting that we've got this large resource available now in Australia, a linked data asset. Some other exciting news, we've just got some research funded in a collaboration between Indonesia and Australia. And you'll remember, I think a couple of community calls ago, we had a minor talk about the work she's doing with Indonesia and the Indonesia chapter. So hopefully this kind of spurs some work in that area as well. And this project is wanting to look at EMR records to build a quality use of medicines dashboard around mental health conditions and medications in mental health. So that's a really exciting project that will go on for the next couple of years and hopefully get some data sets in both Australia and Indonesia OMOPed to look at mental health specifically. We also had an Odyssey Australia chapter meeting where we were really looking at the Indigenous health records in data sets across Australia and the ways that we can identify populations and use standardised ways of doing that. So Professor Clinda Griffith, who is a real expert in this area, gave us a presentation just about how we identify ethnicity and what needs to be done in the CDM to allow that to happen. So that's been recorded and is up on the Odyssey Australia website if anyone is interested in looking at that. And I'm sure everyone in their own countries, particularly in the Asia Pacific region, has, you know, these kinds of same issues about how do we identify different, you know, cultural and ethnicity kind of flags. Lastly, we have finally submitted the fluoroquinolone study to JAMA. So shout out to Chan and Jung Ho and Jack, who, you know, led this work. So that's really exciting that that has now been submitted. We're developing a study around epilepsy at the moment. So Fook has been really great with that. We've looked at the data in both Taiwan and Australia. So that's been exciting, and some other methodology work as well. And that's it. Thanks, Song.
All right. Okay. Very happy to be here to report from China chapter about what we have done for the past 6 months. The China chapter is led by me and Hui Liu and Yi Zhou from Seng University and Liu Hui from Shanghai Jiao Tong University. And then the founder for the chapter is Hua Xu. Okay, so for the past 6 months, we have 4 meetings and 4 presentations. You know, there's a first one is from Seng University, and then we have a speaker from IMO Health industry, and then we have Yung Chen from UPenn, and then we have the last one just last week we have a professor from Nanchang University. I'm sorry about the all the topics in Chinese. I didn't translate, but they're all about the OMAP CDM or the clinical data analysis. Okay, that's the monthly meeting, and then we have a tutorial as well. And beginning of June, we had a meeting. We have actually a conference, and then pre-conference, we organize a one-day tutorial, particularly for Odyssey. And it's about 8 hours, and then we have about 50 students, mostly from the different colleges in Shanghai. And the tutorial, including Odyssey introduction, OMAP, CDM, and Atlas ETL process and data analysis method. And each one, because we've translated the Odyssey book into Chinese. So we just distribute the printed version of the translated Odyssey book. And the next one, there is more and more. I think that the Odyssey is getting to know in China in more and more universities and hospitals. And one example is in the north, the Hebei province, the Hebei Medical University, and they actually we have a tutor. This is a special tutor, like for maybe a very long period of time, for like 50 days. Where they send 2 students to us. We just hand in hand to teach them about the Odyssey and for 50 days, and then basically then they grab most of it, and including some of the practice, and then they can go back to Hebei Medical Universities and then to start their program over there. So we're planning to do this for other universities, medical universities as well. Okay, and so the next I'm gonna mostly introduce the work. This I think I mentioned it before, but I never really get a chance to talk about it in detail. And I just take this chance to talk about the work we have been doing in Fudan University. We're building a clinical data collaborative platforms. And this one is because we have an integrated platform for medical research data analysis services, which is it's a campus-wide, and there's 18 hospitals, 17 hospitals affiliated with Fudan University, and each one will be connected by the network. And so we try to build this platform and to allow the different hospitals, their data be able to shared through the network. But the data we're not going to move out the hospital, will stay in the hospital, but can be shared through the network, just based on a private computing platform, and also the Odyssey model. So that's the the beginning. That's the overall kind of a data resources for all the hospitals. And at the beginning, we're going to start with some specific diseases. The first one will be the melanoma, and then the second one is the brain glioma. So it's a kind of a brain cancer. I think that's with different hospitals. So for the I think one more. Yeah. For the melanoma data set, we start doing the ETL conversion, and then this one is we've been working with Zhongshan Hospital, the largest hospital affiliated with Fudan University, and we have we encounter many problems during the ETL process, as I think the Korean chapter already mentioned, is especially for the vocabulary and also the granularities of the vocabulary between the Odyssey standard vocabulary and the local hospital's database. But anyway, we are converting this melanoma data set. Is not that big. It's only for Zhongshan Hospital. It's about 400 patients. But the idea is to for the network to create for a particular data set, we're going to create multi-center data. So it's not create, it's just we have to have the multi-center data converted into the same OMA model. So it's the next one, we're doing the Huashan Hospital and the Shanghai Cancer Center, which are all affiliated with the Feng University. And through the network, we have all this melanoma data converted into OMA model, and then they can be shared through the network. So further about the network is we because we want the network to be the data will stay in the hospital, not to move to centralize. So that's why we are building a kind of a platform based on the private computing. This is the design, and then the data flow. Basically, what's happening is for each hospital, they from their CDRs, we're gonna do the ETL and then transform that into OMAP model data. And then this, we have centralized the kind of data portal. In the data portal can view those data in the hospital, in different hospitals. And so the data, when we initiate a radio project, the data can be, for particular project, the data can be, because of the computation infrastructure in the medical school. So the data temporarily will transfer to the computation center and in the sandbox, and to do the calculation, and then that's how the data flows. So this is the data portal where we're building. We build. You can explore the data among different hospitals. You can see all the aggregated data, all the statistics about the data, and we give some examples at the patient level, just maybe for each data set, about 10 individual patient data, to just show the data parameters that show how many, the parameters, how many, the data, I guess the metadata, to show the metadata. So that's the data portal. And then about the sandbox, basically because of the hospitals, they don't have enough computation power, so the computing power actually housed in the medical school in our institute. So we basically, once the one project is identified, for example, the melanoma project, so the hospitals, different hospitals will have the melanoma data centralized temporarily in the computation sandbox, and then over there, all the calculation, all the analysis has been done. Once it's done, the sandbox dissolved, so the data disappears. So then make sure the data is safe and not being used unwantedly. So that's the whole idea. And then within the sandbox, we put in all the Atlas tools in the sandbox, and so they can allow the people to utilize those tools with the computation powers. So that's the project we're right now implementing. Hopefully, we're gonna attending the Global Odyssey conference. Hopefully by that time, we may have some good results from that. Okay. Thank you very much for your attention.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Mornin Feng from National University of Singapore here. I'm currently the Assistant Director of Research, Black Cat Healthcare in our Institute of Data Science. I'm also co-chairing the Singapore Odyssey chapter with Professor Niam Ki Yuan from NUH as well. Please allow me to apologize. Today I'll be traveling for a meeting, thus I won't be able to present live with all of you online. I'm going to share the updates for our Singapore chapter through recording instead. Okay, for this year, at least for half the year, our main focus is obviously putting together a successful Odyssey APEX Symposium for 2024. In case you haven't noted, this year's Odyssey APEX Symposium will be hosting in Singapore, and the date has been set to be the 6th to 9th December. Okay, please mark it down on your calendar, and we look forward to seeing all of you in Singapore. And this year, we'll be co-hosting our APEX Symposium with our regional healthcare AI event. We call it Imagined, stands for International Medical AGI Network Event. And as we'll be co-hosting with a healthcare AI event, we think it's perfectly natural for us to set our theme for APEX Symposium to be AI related as well. So the theme for this year's APEX Symposium will be When Odyssey Meets AI. We would like to discuss or allow everyone to share their current initiatives of using Odyssey platforms and tools, implementing some AI solutions, or their plans in future as well. Okay, and this year for our Odyssey APEX Symposium, we'll be calling for abstracts, and later in the event we will have posters for everyone to share their ideas and prior work as well. We are still working on the call for abstract at the moment. We do look forward to release the call for abstract by the end of July. And then please, anyone have good ideas, prior works to want to share with the committee, do send in your abstracts when the call for abstract is released. Okay, the current plan for the APEC Symposium is as follows. At day 0, which is Wednesday, will be in the early December. In day 0, we kickstart the entire symposium with an Odyssey tutorial. And this year, at Singapore, we have been going through the ETL process for the past 2 years. So this year's tutorial, currently we are planning to have slightly more focus for analytics tools and building analytic solutions and conducting studies with the converted data. And this workshop is open for everyone in the APEC communities. Again, please do register and join us. You are interested to learn from the regional leaders. And then after day 0, the day 1 and day 2, which will be Thursday and Friday, we'll be having our main symposium in the fantastic Marina Bay Sands Hotel. As you can see this photo, the hotel is right next to our beautiful Marina Bay, and it's a very nice venue for conferences. And for this year, as we'll be co-hosting with our regional healthcare AI event, we are very delighted to share that it's very likely that our Minister of Health will be joining us as guest of honor. And then for our opening keynote speakers, we are honored to have Professor Andrew Ng from US, one of the AI experts, joining us to praise us as the opening keynote speakers. In addition to Andrew, we also have another very famous AI professor from US, Professor Fei Li, hopefully joining us as a keynote speaker as well. So do look forward to our final programs in our website, which will be released by end of this month, and check out all the other very famous and very respected AI speakers and healthcare AI speakers around the world as well. And of course, right, in addition to the AI experts, we'll do our best to invite all our international and regional leaders from our APEC community to join us as well. This is not an exhaustive list. I'm just naming some of them that we've been talking to and very close to confirm the attendance to our symposium. Of course, it includes George, Patrick, Matai, Mark, Anna, Peter, Moy, Xu Hua, Professor Xu Hua, Park, Chan, Nicole, and Jason, and many, many more. And after our 2 days of symposium at the Marina Bay Sands, we will, over the weekend, which is Saturday, Sunday, following that, we will have our data hackathons, in short, datathons. And for this year's datathon, we have already start to do some of the preparation work. One of the works that we've been doing is that we've been working closely with Professor Harrell from Seng, who's the department head of the anesthesiology department in Seng. After spending 1 year, we managed to create the first perioperative data set. We call it PASA in Singapore. This data set, we have the electronic medical record all the way from 2016 to 2022, covering all the patients, surgical patients in Seng in Singapore. And this data set, we have just released it end of last year. It contains 26 tables and over 150,000 patients' data. And we have the data of all the patients' data when they came in preparing for the operation. So we have the pre-operative data, including all the lab tests, vital signs, medication, notes, etc. And of course, we have all the continuous time series data during the operation as well. And after that, we have the post-operative data, regardless whether the patients enter the normal ward or ICU, and of course, the patient outcome as well. We are very glad that Professor Harrell has agreed for us to use our data set for case studies for our APEC Symposium. So we'll be reaching out to the community to kickstart some ETL process for the data set as well. And later on during the datathon, I think we will be creating some themes and questions around these data sets, and look forward to collaborate with anyone in the community that have similar data as well. During the last steering committee meeting, we are very delighted to hear from Chan that in South Korea, many hospitals have similar data sets as PASA, our perioperative data set over here. So we are already very glad to have South Korea joining us for this journey, and hope the other sites in the Asian community can join us too. And in addition to our data set and the South Korean ones, we will also be looking at a international public available data set called Inspire, which is also a perioperative data set, currently hosting in VisualNet, which is the lab that I did my postdoc with. I've been working closely with the folks from VisualNet to work out the details for this data set as well. And again, if anyone have experience and expertise around this data set, please do reach out to us. We will be very happy to working with you. And I think that's about it for our update. And again, please mark the date, 6 to 9 December 2024. And I look forward to be seeing you in Singapore, and especially spend our time in the beautiful Marina Bay Sands for our symposium. Thank you. Thank you very much.